Hi friends, I have another craft for you today. Today we are going to do this Patriotic block stack. Isn't that cute? And I've distressed it a little bit to make it more farmhousey because that's my style, but you don't have to do that. Super simple, and I'll show you how to do it. So it's a little messy, so because I want to use a little bit of a stain. So I'm gonna put some gloves on real quick. But I got the material from, these are from Dollar Tree. The blocks are, they're like 2 inches, but you can get them off online. You can get a whole set of them online. So I got the blocks from Dollar Tree. The colors I'm using, I just use chalk paint because I love it. And then the red is apple red. And then this is a blue called ultramarine, but you know, anything you want to do. I got the stars. Those are 2-inch stars. So I got those off of Amazon, I think, but online. And then I got a little bit of jute. So this is 2-ply that I'm using for this. And it just makes a perfect little display to go wherever. It's light and easy to work with. So I got more blocks, but I painted them already. So they're all set. I'm gonna paint some stars real quick. So this is how the stars come. And they're kind of burnt on the edges. So they look like they look a little darker on the edges. So that's neat. I just need a little bit of white. I'm gonna do this first so that we can let it dry while we're working on the rest of the craft. I have them glued together, so I have a hot glue gun warming up beside me. But you don't have to do that. You can leave them unglued, and then you can place them wherever. You can stack them so that they're not perfectly up and down. Whatever works for your style is great. So I don't really need the gloves for the paint, but I use the white first and then get most of that off. Whoops. And then go to my red, but it's whatever you want to do. I've got different brushes right here. I don't know why I don't just pick one up, but I will for the blue. So my first layer is a little pink, probably because of the white on my brush. So I'm gonna add a second layer, but on these guys, they only needed one. So they'll dry pretty fast. Then I'll use the blue and I'll show you how I distressed it. So I'll show you the difference too between just the plain paint and the distressed paint. So let's get my, yeah, definitely one coat's fine. I'm guessing this is balsa wood. It's a real light wood. All right. So we will put this off to the side and let it dry while we're working on our other stuff. Okay, don't want to get extra paint on things. So this is the red that is not distressed. And this is the red that is distressed. So that's the red. Here's the white. And the blue you can't see as well. I can't see as well. I doubt you can on camera, but I can't see it as well either. But I did it anyway for continuity. So I am using Distress ink, but you can also use paint. You know how I like to use, look at me, forgetting, antique wax. I like antique wax. It gives us a very similar feel. What color is this one? Black something. Soot. Black soot is what I'm using. But it comes in an ink pad. This is a small one, just a tester. They come in all sizes. Or you can just get a little bit of the antique wax or brown paint. You can also use a sanding block. Piece of sandpaper will also give you a similar effect. It won't give you the dark effect. And I'm going dark, I don't know, just because I want to. It comes in several colors, but that's what I'm wanting to work with. So I'm going to stack this the same way I stacked the one I've showed you. So what that actually means is I'm going to not need to distress the top of all these colors, right? Because they're going to be glued on the others. So I am taking this ink pad and just brushing it over lightly to get just a little distressed, worn look. And I'm going to do the top because that's going to be on the top of my work. So I don't know if you can see it on my hands, but I did this for the first one and it stained my hands. And like I couldn't get it off. It's still on there. So I don't usually use gloves, as you probably know, but I thought I need to do that so I don't get too gross. So I like to do the edges, and I'm doing the edges on both sides of the edge. There's two sides to the edge, right? But I want it to spill over on the block on both sides. So I'm going in both directions, top and bottom. So actually I don't need to do the top, right? I just said that. I don't need to do the top because it's going to be glued. But then, real light, I am taking my ink and just barely rubbing over. Ta-da! And again, you can't see great on the blue, and that is why I picked black actually, so that you could pick up some of it in person. But let me tell you, it's not much. I can barely pick it up. But I don't have the best eyes, so maybe somebody who's got better eyes can see it better. So I'm going all the way around. And now I'm just rubbing some of the ink on the sides, just like this. All right, so I think we're finished with that. Let's see if our stars are getting dry. So we're done with that. Let's scooch this over. Get rid of my paintbrushes so I don't accidentally paint something. Let's see, I did the white one first, right? Hey, guess what? I just remembered. It is dry. This one's not as dry because I had to put 2 layers on it. I want to distress my stars. So this star is still a little wet. But the white and the blue are dry. So we'll distress those first and give my red one a minute. So let me get this back. All I did on the stars is distress on the edges like I did on the edge. I don't think, take any on the front. No, I just do the edges on the stars. So it pops a little more than the other colors. So I'm taking my ink pad, whoops, around every corner, every edge. So if I was using my antique wax, I would probably put this on a piece of paper towel or sponge and not use a brush for this distressing. I don't think I would use a brush. I don't want the brush streaks. Oh, so here's what that looks like. Can you see it? Nice. I know you can't really see it on the blue, but I'm going to do the blue anyway, because I will know that I didn't do the blue. You know the effect we use with trying to do the farmhouse, and we dry brush with white paint? That would be a neat effect too. That would be a neat effect on this if you wanted to try to do a dry brush. So you just get a brush, dip it in the white or maybe cream, and we're good. And then brush most of it off, like get a paper towel or a paper plate, something to brush most of the ink that you just put on, or the paint that you just put on the brush off, and then dry brush it lightly on top of your work. That will look good too. Awesome. All right, I got some extra ink over there. Sorry, Star. Nice. All right. So we're finished with that, and we can get rid of these gloves. Let's put this together. So I just mix match the colors over here. So on I'm going to use the red glass just to make sure it's like super dry. But the red's my top, the red star. So the red square is my top, and I am going to glue on the blue star. So I'm going to pick which side I think is the front. They all look good, so I don't have a preference. And then I'm going to use some hot glue, put it on my star, just in the center. We don't need a ton. A little dab will do ya. And then I like it in the center here. Oops, I got some string glue. So I'm going to put it down there in the center and hold it down a second and let it dry. And there we go. And then on the blue, pick which side I want of the blue. They all look the same. I'm going to put white. So I'm going to get my distress star for the white. Put a little glue on here and place it in the center because that's where I want it. But you can do whatever you want to do. I saw one of these with a star that was just bigger than the square. So cute. But that is not what I ended up with. See? And then the red is going to go on the white. So which side do I want to use the white? Whoops. I want a lot of the dark on the front. I think I'll use this side. And then I will put just a little dab of glue on my star. And you can do the next step in whatever order you want to do it. Let's put that in the center. We can tie the bows on. We're going to make bows out of the jute. And then glue them together. Glue our blocks together. Or we could glue them together and then put the stars on. I'm going to put the the bows on. I'm gonna do the bows first. So I just cut some 2-ply jute, and I'm not the best at tying bows, but the way that it ended up working for me was I put it on the bottom like this, get my 2 ends together, crossover, and then some people teach their kids to tie their shoes by making 2 loops and then putting the loops together. That's how I ended up doing my bow on these, and it worked good, so that's what I'm going to do right now. I put 2 loops together, and then I'm tying my bow. And as I make them smaller and finagle around with them, that's how I get it to go the direction I want it to go. So I am just finagling with my bow a little bit, getting my little ends the size I want them to be. Every time I pull it tight, it shifts on me. Nice. There we go. Looking good. So there's my first bow. I will snip off my edges. My scissors are just out of camera shot. Forgot those. So I got some sprigs I'm gonna get off. And I'm going to cut right to the edge of the block. Just like this. But again, do what you want to do. You may want it further out. And then what I did with these guys is I put just a little dab of glue under the knot to attach it to the star, so it wouldn't like disappear and shift on me. So I'm going to just put just a touch, so hopefully we can't really see it. And I think that turned out cute. So that's one. Let's do this one. Get my little sprig. So I'm tying it around. I'm not tying, now you could do all kinds of things. You can make like a finger bow if you want. My star's a little small for that. And one of my favorite jutes is 3-ply, but it's too thick, I think, for this. So I'm only using 2-ply. But you could make a little finger bow, making 2 hoops. And going around. Might not have picked the best time to cut my fingernails, but gotta keep those things tidy. All right, so I just make my bow, my little 2 hoops. Cute. Move them around to the size I want them to be. Nice. Cut my edges off. I'm going to the end of my block. Add a little bit of glue so it doesn't shift on me. Just a tiny bit if I can. Uh-oh, got a little string of glue on that one. There we go. Cute. One more. I'm trying to make sure I'm tying these on right. I did not paint the bottom, so I know what's top and what's bottom. Yeah, technically, I guess I didn't have to paint the top of the 2 colors that was going to be glued together, but at the time I was making this, I wasn't sure whether I was going to glue them together or stack them. I wasn't sure, so just in case I glued the top. All right, this little bow hoop is a little smaller than the other. Let's fix that. This is a simple patriotic craft that can be used for multiple holidays around here. All right. I at home put my red, white, and blue out like 3 different times during the year, so whatever works for you. Now I'm gonna glue this down. Just a touch, a little dab will do ya. Go. A little string. Cute glue string. And there you go. Very nice. Glue spidery strings. Okay, now we're just going to put them together. So I need to make sure they're in the right order. I'm going to lay them flat like this on my table and make sure they're in the order I want them to be. See? And then it doesn't take much. I'm just going to put some glue on the bottom of this. And while they're on the table, which is flat, I'm going to push them together and just hold them a second. The beauty of hot glue. And then my last one. Hold them together a second. And there we go. Ta-da! Now I got 2 of them like bookends. They're way too light for bookends. But isn't that cute? It's simple. It's versatile. You don't have to grunge them up. You don't have to distress them. You could keep them that bright poppy color as I showed you at the beginning. But I like it this way. So that's why I did it. But there you go. That is the end of my craft. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you had a good time, and I hope you try it yourself. And we'll see you next time. Bye.